today marks the beginning of the new 9 weeks, so make sure you stay on top of your assignments, join Google Meets, get you a schedule, a planner, all that good stuff, and balance all the good things that hopefully are happening in your life. I will be here every day if you need some help for Google Meets, and some of you are even see face to face in person, which is always nice. So I just want you to make sure you start this 9 weeks off on a good foot, and if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. We're actually going to start this 9 weeks with matrices. We're moving to some trigonometry, and then we're going to end with some statistics. Don't lose all of those great skills that you learned during the first 9 weeks, because they will keep popping up because mathematics builds. So just make sure you're keeping those skills fresh and good, so that when we need to use those again, you can just pull those out of your skill set. All right, let's jump into matrices. Hopefully you'll find matrices very easy. I think they are very straightforward once you get the basics down, and I feel like you'll be able to start your second 9 weeks with a great grade. All right, definition. A matrix is a rectangular array of numbers, symbols, or expressions arranged in rows and columns. Each value in a matrix is called an element. So here on your screen, you see 4 different matrices. They're all arranged in rows and columns. Rows go horizontal, and columns go up and down. And elements are however many numbers are inside of your matrix. So if I look at this first matrix that I have here, there's 6, 3, 1, 1, 4, -2. So this particular matrix has 6 elements. Inside of your matrix can be numbers or variables or expressions. So you would count each one, and that would give you the elements. Notice they're all enclosed in this square bracket. You may have seen the symbol before on Desmos or your own personal graphing calculator, but these are what matrices look like. They help us organize information, much like a table. Dimensions. Dimensions of a matrix refer to the size of the matrix, rows by columns. It is normally denoted as M by N, where M is the rows and N is the columns. So we're going to go through each of these, and we are going to state what the dimensions are, and then we'll state how many elements are in each one. So for the first one, there's 1, 2. There are 2 rows, and 1, 2, 3 columns. So I can count and see how many are in there, or I can just do 2 times 3, so we know that there are 6 elements. Next, 1, 2, 3, 3 rows. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. And I can use a shortcut just by doing multiplication. 3 times 4 is 12. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. And 3 times 2 is 6, so there are 6 elements. And the last one, 1, 2, there's 2 rows. And 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So that means that there are 8 elements. I do want to point out that if you look at matrix number 1 and compare that to matrix number 3, you see that they both have 6 elements, but they have different dimensions. So you can have matrices that have the same elements with different dimensions. So you can have different dimensions, but they still have the same number of elements. That is quite okay. I could have a matrix that's 4 by 3, it will still have 12 elements. Or I could have a matrix that's 6 by 2, and it will still have 12 elements. Let's practice some more. Either pause this video or write these down if you feel the need to. I want you to find the dimensions of these matrices and then state the element. So find the dimensions of these matrices and then state the elements. Hopefully you had that the first one was a 3 by 3 matrix, and that it had 9 elements. The second one is a 3 by 2 matrix, and there are 6 elements. Next one is a 2 by 2 matrix, And there are 4 elements. Next one is also a 2 by 2 matrix. Nothing wrong with having fractions, improper fractions, decimals, expressions inside of your matrix. Nothing's wrong with that. And there are 4. And the last one is a 2 rows. Sorry there. Let me erase that for us. There we go. Rows go first. So there are 2 rows and 3 columns. So 6. So hopefully when you had the chance to go through those, you got the correct answers for those. Again, matrices are rows by columns. Rows go first, columns go second. And elements, you can just multiply rows by columns, and it'll give you however many elements are in the matrix. All right, next we're going to take a look at some special kinds of matrices. So special kind of matrices. The first one here, actually the first 3 are what we call square matrices. So these first 3 are square matrices. This is a square matrix, this is a square matrix, and this is a square matrix. I know that all 3 of those are square matrices because they have the same number of rows and columns. This one is a 3 by 3. The second one is a 4 by 4. And the third one is a 2 by 2. So these first 3 here are what we call square matrices. Hopefully that makes sense in your brain because a square is like 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7. So a shape that has all the sides are the same length, and you can multiply those. So 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 2 times 2. The last 2 examples up here, the first one is a column matrix. So this blue one that I'm underlining here, that is a column matrix. 1, 2, 3. It has 3 rows and 1 column. And this one is a row matrix because it has 1 row and 4 columns. So this one here is a column matrix. It has 3 rows but only 1 column. This one has only 1 row, but it has 4 columns. So those are special kinds of matrices. And let's end with a word problem. All right, so we're going to take a look at this word problem together and make sure that we are good to go. So matrices are useful for organizing information. At Mathematics High School in Algebra, North Carolina, all the grade levels signed up for the upcoming season of basketball and soccer. The freshman class had 11 sign up for basketball and 13 for soccer. Sophomores had 9 sign up for basketball and 22 for soccer. The juniors had the same amount of 15 in each sport, while the senior class had 21 for basketball and 9 for soccer. Organize this data into a matrix, state the dimensions. There are 2 possible answers and elements. All right, so we're going to take this information that we have in this word problem and we are going to arrange it in a matrix. So let's go ahead and set up our matrix. And there are 2 options. You can set up this as a longer matrix, like a horizontal matrix, or a vertical matrix. So if I go through, I know that there are 4 cohorts, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's up to you if you want that to go on the side and represent your rows, or if you want to go on top and represent your columns. The way that I have mine set up, I have my grade levels on the side, and then on top, I'm going to put basketball, and I'm going to abbreviate B for basketball, and I'm going to do S for soccer. So if I read through here, it says the freshman class had 11 sign up for basketball and 13 for soccer. Then it says sophomores had 9 sign up for basketball and 22 for soccer. The juniors had the same amount of each, so they are 15 apiece. And then last but not least, it says that the senior class had 21 sign up for basketball and 9 for soccer. So this would be our matrix. So just like that, we took that information that they gave us and we're able to organize it a little bit better. Over here on the side, just to be clear so we wouldn't confuse those with numbers, we could write out ninth grade or put ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, or we can use the actual words freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So I just want to make sure you don't get these confused with numbers inside of the matrix. That would be absolutely fine to write those out. B stands for basketball and S stands for soccer. Now, the question says state the dimensions and that there are two possible answers. So, the way that I have mine set up 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be a 4 by 2 matrix. If you had yours written the other way, then it would be a 2 by 4 matrix. The number of elements, there are 8 elements. We could then use this information to answer questions such as how many total students signed up for basketball? How many total students signed up for soccer? How many ninth graders signed up for basketball? And how many 11th graders signed up for soccer? What is the sum of those two numbers? So once you have your matrix set up, you can just look at the information and you'll be able to answer whatever kind of questions that they are asking for us to answer.